It's podcast time. The Ben Herrera and Starlito Show. A Black River Studios podcast. Enjoy the show.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode. It is Thursday night. Time for the podcast. Tonight we have Tracy and our special guest. We got Tanya on tonight. How are you doing tonight?
Doing so good. Thank you for asking.
And thank you for being on tonight because, I was referred to you by Rob. Rob Johnson. We want to thank Rob for that. So
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob.
Rob is a really great guy. He's really talented actually with his baking and his what would you call it, like, because he's pretty much a chef.
Yeah,
he's really good at what he does. So it's like so tonight again we have awesome guest Tanya she's going to speak to everybody about who she is. She's going to explain to everybody what she's been through and, where she's at now and what got her through those moments in her life. That a lot of people have those moments, but it's like everybody goes through them differently.
That's right.
And so go ahead and introduce yourself and then let us know. Just pour out whatever you want.
Okay. Okay. Well, first I'd like to say thank you for letting me be here.
Mm-hmm.
And my name is Tanya Legary, and I was born in Canada, raised in Maine. I have an amazing, beautiful family. I had a beautiful life growing up. I really, really did. And my mother is 90 years old. She's still alive. She's my biggest prayer warrior. If she wouldn't have done all the praying that she did, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Right, exactly.
But I guess I could start out by saying that nobody chooses to be in addiction or alcoholics, you know. And it's certainly the path that I didn't think that I would go on. I think I got into the wrong crowd of people, and I was always just a really outgoing type of girl and happy-go-lucky, and just everyone was my friend, and I kind of was more or less a follower, more than a leader. And so whatever people were doing around me, I just did it with them. And I got into... I lived on the edge quite often in my life in my younger years. I was a little bit of a rebellious teenager, and but I didn't really start using drugs until I was in my 20s, late 20s, and I have two beautiful daughters, and
Nice.
Yes, and I have 13 grandchildren, two great granddaughters. So yeah, I have a big family.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very blessed with
cool.
that. But I think what happened was I started using drugs in the middle of my 20s, going out to nightclubs and enjoying my friends, and we'd do coke in the bathroom, and we'd just start out like that. But it started to get more of a habit over time, and I couldn't seem to let it go. It took a lot from my life. I had to move a lot. I put my daughters through a lot of hell, I think. And I'm not proud of that, and I know that it's something that I think that they struggled with as teenagers.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they have been pretty resilient in their later years now, and they're trying to. I guess they're just being so supportive of their mom now that I am clean. But I spent 25 years in addiction, and in and out of jail, and 3 different stints of drug court through Ottawa County. Yeah, on probation, and dropping every single day, on color coding, calling every morning, and it was quite intense. Those were the times that I stayed clean, and it was only when I was on paper. Yeah.
Okay, so go back to your younger years of what was it that was it the lifestyle that you had back in those days that was causing you to fall into those, I guess people call them traps.
You that influenced you at that time?
Well, it didn't start in high school. In high school, I just smoked weed here and there or drank a little bit with my friends, whatever we could steal from our parents,
Right.
that kind of thing. It wasn't like that I wasn't doing cocaine back then at all.
Right.
Until I moved out of my house and I started my own life working and doing my
Right.
own thing and meeting different crowds of people. I actually moved out of state from Maine and moved to Atlanta and started meeting different types of a whole diverse type of people, just Black people, Chinese people, every different race. And being from Maine, I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't have any Black people in my school. I didn't have any other races in my school. It was all just white people, and not that that really matters. But what I'm saying is, going from Maine to California, which is where I moved to, I started meeting a lot of different types of people that were into a lot of different things that I've never been involved in.
So have you ever, okay, so you're the from what you're saying, it sounds more like the demographics of where you were staying, the type of people you were hanging out with.
Yeah.
It was different from when you were in Maine. So,
Yes.
was there a certain thing that, like, not saying you were doing this, but like, oh, I want to look cool like they are, you know what I mean? Like, was it in the situations like that?
Yeah, back in that day, it was cool to go in the bathroom and do a few lines, you know? And so, like, we just did that so that we could dance all night and have fun and party.
Right.
And it wasn't something that I said, well, yeah, I wanted to start doing this, but everyone was doing that, you know? And it just became something that I started to do. But I dwindled off and on from it in those years. And then when I had my daughters, I tried to raise them the best way that I could. And I had a family friend that introduced us to me and my ex-husband that I was with.
Yeah.
Introduced us to crack. You know, he showed us exactly what it was. And from the moment that I tried it, I couldn't stop smoking it.
Right.
And it wasn't like all through the week. It would be like every weekend we would. And then every weekend went to starting to smoke during the week. And then we lost everything. We put everything in storage and stayed in a hotel. And we lost our car. Everything just was taken from us because all we cared about was getting high. And it was really a bad place.
That's what I was going to say.
And
Because
is it an expensive habit?
very expensive.
yeah.
And, you know,
And then to answer Marcos, a.k.a. Starlito, who is under the weather right now, but Starlito is the other host that's usually here.
okay.
But he says 7 p.m. show. Yeah, I double booked myself, but it's okay. I mean, I'm the next Jay Leno. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But I grew up in the 80s and 90s. You know, I mean, I never really did any hard drugs or anything like that, but I've been asked, you know, several times in my life, like, why don't you just try it?
Right.
You know, I'm like, I've been close to doing stuff like that, and not with anybody I hang out now, but other people in my life throughout my life, and it's like, I was like, why? You know, but I get it. You know, there's people out there that just they do it because it's like it's there. You know, how did you feel about like when it came to your parents finding out and things like that? What did they do?
I hid my whole life from my family in Maine. I think that's why I moved away.
Okay.
Because I was rebellious and I was somebody who just wanted to live on the edge and do what I wanted to do. And I look back now and know that those were the mistakes that I made. But I would call them every week in Maine, and they'd say, "How are you?" And I'd say, "Everything's great, everything's fine," and nothing was fine. Everything was bad. Everything was horrible. And you know, I didn't want. I think I just was trying to protect them and their peace.
Right.
But as time went on, and I was more. I always had God in my life. Like, God was always a part of my life, and I prayed to Him, and I always knew that. In the back of my mind, I knew that this is not my life. I know this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, but the habit of the drug addiction took over, and it just it had a grip on me. I couldn't stop, and I did what I could to try and stop. And like I said before, the only times I did stop was when I was like on drug court or on probation.
Right.
But it just got to a point where I knew that I had to stop because I felt like death was upon me. Like I just was getting sicker and sicker, and I couldn't figure out, you know, I knew that I had to stop. I decided to move back to Maine where my mom and my family live, and my daughters were grown at this point.
Okay.
So we're skipping ahead quite far.
Right.
But because I went to jail a lot and I went through drug court, and so all of that time is just in and out of trouble because of drugs, and trying to stop in between.
Right.
But as I decided to move to Maine, I lived there for 3 years, and I stayed clean in Maine because I was away from the people that I could get it from, and it was easy for me to stay clean. And I was trying to prove something to myself and my children who lived still in Michigan that I could do this, But I missed them. And I knew that God had given them to me as a gift. My grandchildren and my daughters were everything to me. And I wanted the life that I had in Maine, but I wanted to go back to Michigan and do the same thing. And I formed a plan, and I said, okay, I'll do it, and I'm going to move back. And I moved back to Michigan, and my daughters welcomed me with open arms. My grandchildren were happy that I was back.
That's cool.
And for 2 months, I lived with my daughter, and I tried to find an apartment, and I found one. But really, the sad part of it all is in the back of my mind, I had a plan. Yeah. And I knew that as soon as I got into that apartment, I was going to be getting high again. I didn't want to, but it was just the addiction that was calling me. And the day that I signed my lease, when I moved back to Michigan from Maine, I had an 8-ball in my pocket. And it was go time from that. And I didn't stop, and I used all the time. I literally laid in my bed and isolated at home for 2.5 years without seeing my children or my grandchildren. My family thought I was clean. I think they kind of knew after a while. Right. But an addict is good at lying and manipulating. That's what we do, you know? And I'm not proud of that at all. But, and all along I prayed, and I just kept saying, God, I just really just don't want to do this. This is not what my life is supposed to be. Right. But the addiction had me. So I'll share a part of my testimony where the miracle happens. That's
what I was just going to say. Yeah. Let's get to that part.
Let's get to that
because,
part.
It's, Marcos Starlito says, hiding addiction to protect family is a real struggle.
Yeah, it is.
Then he says, truth to the addiction is a strong mindset. And the only way to conquer the addiction is to be tired of yourself and hitting less than rock bottom. That's very true. Very, very true.
I was tired of myself all the time. And I always was talking to God, like, I just want to stop. I just don't want to do this anymore. But I just couldn't. I was begging for money on the streets of Holland, asking people for gas money, and I didn't even have a car. How embarrassing and humiliating. I'm still ashamed of that and feel bad about it. But I try to give back in other ways now to make amends for that. Yeah. So it got to the point where I was suicidal. I just wanted to die. Yeah. But I don't think I had the guts to actually do it. And God kept saying to me that he would come to me and he would say, I would hear him say, that's not what you want to do. I have a bigger plan for you. Right. And I always knew that in the back of my heart, too, in my mind too, that's really what it was. That's what I felt, Yeah. So it was one night, and it was a bad night. I had stayed up for like 5 days, and I was to the point where I was using all day long, every day. I had stole my daughter's rent money a few months back, and she has 8 children. And we weren't speaking. I was severely depressed because of that, because I knew that I had really damaged our relationship and that it was at an end. And I had put them through a lot over the years, but that was probably the worst thing. Yeah. And we hadn't talked, and they lived a mile down the road, and I didn't see my grandchildren or my daughter, and it was sad. And it was really hard for me. So I was really depressed. I wanted to die. And I got on my knees this one night, and I said, God, please just take the taste out of my mouth. Take the taste of this drug addiction from me. Yes. And I didn't realize that the power of those words and what he heard me say, he literally did it. Because for 2 months following, I must have spent thousands of dollars. Nothing would get me high. I tried even meth, and I'm not a meth smoker. I wasn't a meth smoker. I had crack and meth on a plate, and nothing was getting me high. I would call a girl from down the street and say, come and smoke some of this. I'm not getting high. What's going on? She'd come and get so high, and I'd be like, what's going on? Finally, the light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, He took the taste. God took the taste from my mouth.
Literally.
It's truly a miracle,
That's
right?
cool.
Awesome.
So I called my daughter at 4:00 in the morning one day, that day when I realized I threw away all my paraphernalia. I threw everything away and I knew I was done. I said out loud in my apartment that was infested with bed bugs. There were mice everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They would jump over me when I would sleep at night. I knew the devil was there. It was just a real horrible feeling being there. And I knew I had to get out of there. And I knew I was really sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I called my daughter and I said, Brittany, I know that you're really sick and tired of everything. And I know I stole your rent money, but can you just please come get me? I have to get out of here or I'm going to die. I don't want to commit suicide, but I just know that if I don't leave this house, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
She was like, Mom, I don't know. We're just really tired. I don't know if I want you around the kids. I'm just really sick and tired of and fed up of everything. And I just don't know. So I didn't know if she was coming or not, but I grabbed my wallet. It's the only thing I grabbed. And I walked down my stairs and I sat on my front steps of my apartment. And I sat there and prayed and cried and waited hopefully that she would show up. And she pulled in the driveway at 7 a.m. She pulled in my driveway and she took one look at me and said, Mom, you look really sick. And I get emotional on this part, sorry. And she was like, you look really sick, Mom. And she took me straight to Holland Hospital. And I got there and the whole miracle was that my heart was working at a 20%. And I didn't even know. I had a major heart issue. And I got there and they were like, we need to either restart your heart or you're going to have a heart surgery. And I got a whole team of cardiac physicians and they were like, you're close to death. And I don't think that if I didn't pray that prayer that night, a month and a half before then, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
He took the taste from my mouth for a reason so that I would not continue to be able to use. Exactly. And I would have died, with this heart issue. So my daughter sat with me and I stayed in the hospital for 3 days and I went to her house and I slept on her floor and every day my grandchildren surrounded me with love and they built me up and lifted me up. And I think that was God as well. He brought those little babies into my life to every day they would be like, Nana, you're doing so good. You look so beautiful. And it would just give me the confidence to keep going. Yep. One of my dope dealers lived a block away from where I stayed with my daughter. And it was hell every day for me. Yeah. And I had a lot of withdrawal symptoms, but I knew that I wanted something better and I wanted a different life. And I knew that if I used, I'd die. So it kind of kept me clean. And one day, one step in front of the other, I just kept getting better. And my daughter really helped me. I have another daughter as well. And she's another one of my prayer warriors. And I have a lot of support in Holland. And what I did was I made my life into a purpose for something that I love doing. And I started doing face painting. And I'm a face painter in Holland. And so cool. I do it for Tulip Time and for Juneteenth and for a lot of different
that's cool.
things in Holland. I do face
awesome.
painting.
See, and that's the thing too, is with your, you got your daughter in your life, you got your grandkids in your life. Yes. That's what you want.
That's exactly what you need.
We got kids. That's what you want. You don't want to miss anything anymore. No. And that's a good thing. And I'm happy for you, for being able to turn your life around like that.
Thank you.
And like what Marcos just said, AKA Starlito, he says, I was just like you. I had to find my worth and change my thinking and surroundings. He said, God is powerful, the only way and the truth. So tonight we also got Nick Serrano. We got Sam, and we got Johnny O watching. Johnny O, we'll be having him on the show here at 8 o'clock tonight. Okay. Well, and Sam, who's also AKA DJ Sanuk, who's also going to be performing at Park Theater. So with what you've been through and everything, you can't turn around. You got to keep going forward.
Definitely.
And how's your heart now?
Yes.
Well, I had heart surgery, and my doctors now say that, and this is another miracle of God. They now say that I'm a boring patient. My heart's working at 100%. Yeah.
Good.
So with that being said, it's just like, God can do anything. And He has done a miracle. I've gone back to visit my family in Maine like 6 times in the past few years, and
nice.
I spent time with my mom and my my family's very proud of me, and I know they are a big support of me, and I'm just really excited about that because you don't want to hurt the people you love.
Exactly.
And in addiction you do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's a really hard place to be.
Yep.
But you can redeem yourself, and God has redeemed my life. He has given me back, and He's stored my life.
Well, that's why He's called the Redeemer.
He is the Redeemer.
So it's like He gives you the opportunity to be like, you know what? Turn around, stop doing that, and you'll see the difference.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you can see it, literally see it in front of you. Yeah. And I believe that's what you did, because I read your story. I read a lot of stuff that you were posting and, from, the before pictures and stuff that you were posting. And I'm like, she is completely different.
Yeah.
And, it's those things that I can say, and we could all say it, we're proud of you.
Thank you.
And I believe you as a person and a person of God, and a follower of God, will never do that. Will never turn back, because I believe you and your vision will never do that.
I give God all the glory. He has saved my life, and there's just people say and ask me all the time, what is it? How did you get clean? What did you do? What's the magic answer? Mm-hmm. There is no magic answer. It is God.
It's God.
He literally listened and heard my voice when I was crying on my knees. Yeah. And He took the taste from my mouth. Mm-hmm. Because nothing would work and nothing got me high. What do you call that? That's just a miracle, and it is God. Yeah, for sure. It is truly. So,
God's the only way through, and it's just like
I've lost 90 pounds. I feel really great about that. So you gain a lot of confidence when you take care of yourself. And I never took care of myself in addiction. I would go weeks and months without just doing self-care and loving myself. I didn't, and so now that's really important to me. Spending time with my family, being a part of what they do, and letting them know that they won't have the story that they're going to find their Nana dead of drug addiction, or a drug overdose. Mm-hmm. And that's the main thing that I think kept me strong too, is that I didn't want them to have that story. I didn't want my daughters to say that my mom wasn't strong enough to stop, that she didn't love us enough to stop this horrible drug habit, Exactly. And it's not that we don't love you, it's just that the addiction is just has a hold on you.
What I think is, and again, people, and I'm not saying anything different towards what people have gone through, but there's addictions in all sorts of aspects of things. Is because people can get addicted to pornography. Yeah. People can get addicted to,
food addictions.
Food addictions, exactly. Prescription drugs. And it's a way of coping with things, I guess you can say.
It is. You want to cover the pain that you're dealing with in your life. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I had a lot of pain. I had physical pain in my body. I've had arthritis my whole life, so that has been a physical pain I had. But I've always been a little self-conscious because of my weight, and I think I dealt with pain with that. Mm. I just loved to stay at home.
How have you lost the weight?
I spend a lot of time trying not to eat sweets. I've let go of sugar.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Sugar
was my vice, and I try to drink as much water as I can. I am on a med from my doctor. My heart doctor put me on a med to help me lose weight.
Me too. What are you on?
Zepbound.
Okay, I'm on Manjaro.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. But I've tried a lot of different things and nothing ever worked, and this really helps with me. And I don't have a lot of symptoms from it, like side effects.
Oh, the side effects, yeah.
Exactly.
Which some people do, but I'm pretty grateful that I don't. Mm-hmm. And I've lost, I think, 90 pounds in a year.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Congratulations.
I've lost really 30 or 40.
So great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Doesn't it feel good?
It does.
And shopping is fun now.
Yeah.
I used to be a 4X, now I'm like a 1X. I'm like, I go shopping all the time.
Right.
And it's one thing to hop on the scale.
Yeah.
But then when you try your clothes on, they fit better.
Right.
Fit differently here
it's
and
so
there.
great.
That's
the best feeling ever.
See how great she looks in that red sweater?
Yeah, red is a good color on you.
Oh, thank you.
Red's my favorite color, actually.
Yeah.
It really
cool.
is.
But yeah, I mean, I believe that what your story and your testimony about, overcoming this basically this devil that was around you.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say is anything bad is, to me, in my mind, is is Satan trying to control your life and say, this is
Yes.
how you're going to live your life. You're not going to go this way.
'Cause he
But then
wants
God
us-
turns around and says,
Yeah.
I don't think so. That's my child.
Yeah,
Right
You know,
on.
that's
so.
and I am a child of God, or
Yep.
definitely a follower. And I've had a desire in my heart for a really long time, since I was a little girl, I think. And I was raised Catholic, but became
That's always been.
really. I became a Christian. I became a follower of Christ when I was in Atlanta, and I had my daughters, because it's a lot of Baptist and Christian,
Yeah.
you know, spirituality there. But what was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
We always do that.
No.
Hey, that's like walking into the room and forget what you went in there for. But, because you grew up Catholic, you said.
Yeah, I grew up
I grew
Catholic,
up,
but
yeah.
yeah. So now I just follow. I wanted to have a Bible study my whole life. Something I never really talked about or shared with anybody, but it was in my heart. And so a couple months ago, I decided just to put it out there on Facebook and say, if I chose to have a Bible study, would anybody join? And I had like 17 women respond, and I was
Was
over
this
the
on
moon.
Facebook,
Yeah,
by chance?
yes, it was. And I was so excited, and I was thinking, are you kidding me? So God, every corner I take, God just keeps giving me gifts. It's just
Yep.
one after the other. So I have a Bible study now every Thursday night. You're welcome to join.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's every Thursday night at 6:30, and
Is it on video?
no, it's at my house.
Oh,
People
so-
come to my house. Like, that's another thing
That's
that's so
cool.
exciting, because I was homeless for like 8 months trying to find a place to live when I was after my daughter. She was after a few months, she was like, okay, Mom, it's time for you to go. You got to go to the mission and
Yeah.
start your own little path.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that was humbling.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't really
I
wanna
mean,
go. But I knew when I
they
walked
find a
through
way.
those doors, I was exactly where I needed to be. God,
Yeah.
the first thing you see when you walk in the mission at Gateway Mission says, be still and know that I'm God. And I just stood there
Yeah.
and I thought, wow, I think I'm in the right place.
See,
And what side of town do you live on?
I live on the south side, on the north side. South side, I'm sorry, right on 16th.
we're not going to give an actual description
Yeah.
of her where she lives.
Yeah.
But
Oh, but you
yeah.
live not too far from us.
Yeah,
So
Cool.
if I can get a ride, can I?
of course. I'd love for you to join. Yeah, it's fun.
So we actually do we have a family group chat that we do Bible talk and Bible studies. Well, it was made for that, but we haven't done one yet.
Yeah.
We just share verses and stuff like that, Bible videos and things, and that's something that I think a lot of people need to do.
Yes.
You know, because as God always says, you know, all you got to do is ask. You know, all you have to do is ask.
That's it.
You know, let me know. For example, you know, there was a lot of things like, well, actually, Starlito helped me with this, was I always wanted to have a studio. And it ended up happening, you know, and it's like, dang, all we had to do was ask.
God knows the desires
know?
of your heart, and
Yeah.
He will give it to you. And you sometimes don't even have to ask. It's like He just makes a plan, and He just
Can
Does
I
it.
share with you guys something?
sure.
Oh, we got Chito watching. We got Tony. What's up, Tony?
So I
Stephanie?
take medicine for bipolar
Okay.
and anxiety.
Okay.
But recently,
Mhm.
between me and God, I'm kind of excited.
Why are you
I know
whispering?
I can do it with God. I can't do it by myself.
No, you can't.
But I'm asking Him to wean me off of my anxiety med.
That's great.
And I actually had a glimpse, like, it is possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible.
It is. I was on 14 different antidepressants and anxiety meds for many, many, many years.
Wow. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm not on any. I'm
And you're
on
off it
one.
now?
I'm on one
That's awesome.
to help with depression.
Okay.
But other than that, I just take 4 other heart pills, heart medicine, and they're actually weaning me off those because my heart is really working at 100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
It's a blessing.
And hearing your story, it's like, oh, it is possible.
Yeah, it is possible. And you know, people say, how do you do it? What do you do? You really do have to find your purpose. You have to find something in your life that you think that God gave you as a gift that you can help other people with, or that you can just do that you're happy doing.
Right.
And if you focus on that and you stay busy and you share your testimony and your story with people, you get encouragement from that. And
Right.
God is
Oh, yeah.
good. He will give you so many gifts in recovery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's restored almost everything that I've lost.
There's a lot of like Marco Starlito just said, natural ways of, because you guys were talking about your Manjaro stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So natural way is apple cider vinegar
Mm-hmm.
and chai seeds
Mm-hmm.
and lime juice.
Mm-hmm.
I've
I
never
was
thought
over
about
300
that.
pounds. the doctor was like, you have to lose some weight,
Yeah.
So I was willing to try that, but I'm slowly weaning off of it now because I don't want to be on it all the time or forever.
Right.
And I've reached my goal at this point. So,
Right.
well, I have 20 more pounds or something, and then I'll be at my goal. But yeah, so I know what he means by natural remedies. For weight loss, I tried them all.
Yeah.
Never worked.
Yep. No, I've tried chocolate. That don't work.
Chocolate's good.
Zepbound, you said?
Zepbound, yeah.
Is that once a week?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so Manjaro's once a week, too.
Yeah.
Yep. So, all right. So we're gonna that's the thing too is about this type of environment too is that you get to share your what you've been through. So what can you tell others that are currently that you know of that are stuck in an addiction stage? What can you tell them other than obviously you got to pray, you got to give your heart out, but on this life, on this earth, what can you tell people that are going through to help them get through it?
You have to make a decision that you just want to be done. Mm-hmm. And even when you think you're not, that decision isn't 100% in your mind, walk the walk, talk the talk, and just try your best every day. Surround yourself with good people.
Yes.
Call somebody and be accountable for what you're doing wrong. Right. And so that they can help you change your life. There's times when I was getting clean, when I started my recovery process, I've been clean, let me say this, 3.5 years I've been clean. So that's
nice.
Nice. Thank you. Awesome. So, but at the beginning of it, I remember that I was such a liar in addiction that I would catch myself lying and I didn't even realize that I didn't have to lie. Yeah. But I was so used to lying and manipulating to get drugs or to just to go down the path of being an addict. And I would literally stop myself as I would lie to somebody and say, you know what, I just didn't tell you the truth just now. And I would start over. But it just helped me to start being a better person.
Right.
And I would start to be more honest and true, and that makes you feel good when you're telling the truth, and when you're a good person with other people in your life. And that's the advice I can give you. And pray, like you said. I know praying is the obvious, but pray because God hears you every single day. He will lift you up. He gave me the strength to keep going when I didn't think I would make it 3 hours.
He took the taste out of your mouth.
He did.
That's amazing.
I have no desire.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
awesome.
have a desire.
And we pray. We'll pray to you tonight. For you tonight is, for you to continue to have those or to lose those desires and keep them away. Because I feel that you, from what you showed and what you talked about on Facebook, you definitely have turned the corner for sure.
Yes.
And I know God will keep you that way.
They say in recovery, you're not supposed to say, I'll never, ever use again. It's just something like a thing you're not supposed to do. But I say it because I'm claiming it. I'm never going to use it again.
I was told there's power in our words.
There are.
We can speak that over us.
That's right. Yeah.
It's almost like just a daily reminder of having to, it's almost like you can if you want to type situation. But it's almost like me, I gave up Pepsi for a year, and just to say, God, you know what? I'll give something up for
this.
you.
Right.
Yeah. So I've done it. It's hard, but because I love drinking Pepsi, so it's like it's almost to a point where that's my addiction almost, where I'm like, dang, I gotta stop drinking. Too much sugar. What you guys were talking about a few minutes ago, that's too much sugar for me.
God has just given me too many beautiful things in my life now that I never ever thought that I'd have. I never thought that. I thought I would die, and I was willing to accept that I would die an addict. And I didn't think there'd ever be any hope that I could change all the bad things that I had done, all the things that I was suffering from. I just didn't think there was hope. And once the light started shining, and I saw the hope, it just got better and better every day. And that's what God does. He will give you glory.
Amen.
Give,
we're going to say amen to everything that God does, and because we can't deny His love that He has for all of us. And there's a lot of times where like, for example, I'll get mad one day and I'll be like, oh, screw this. God doesn't love me. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'll be like, wait a minute. What am I doing?
What are you saying?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Why would I be saying
For a little while, we were in a rut.
Yeah.
Things were
Life
going-
happens.
Yeah, life happens to us.
Mhm.
And then now my husband has a good paying job.
See?
But it wasn't always like that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It was in a position where I was working at a local hardware store, and I was like, this is not what I want to be doing.
Okay.
So I called my former manager and was like, do you need help or what? What's going on?
Right.
He's like, yeah, get over here and apply. Hurry up.
God
So I went over there on my lunch break, applied. 2 weeks later, I was already working.
does it. You
Yeah.
can do it. He will bring things in your path and, direct you the right steps.
Yep, exactly.
Amazing. Thank you. for
One
having
more
me.
thing that Starlito says is, we are always here to help in any way. Yeah, Black River Studios. We had opportunities to do like a coat drive, like just to help the community, and we would help feed the homeless.
Nice.
We would get like pizza from certain pizza companies here, and we would feed the homeless. We would invite people over and say, hey, free dish, free Pepsi, or whatever one we had,
Yeah.
and us 2 slices of pizza, whatever it is,
Yeah.
And that's what Holland does is Holland, if you ask for help, Holland will help you.
They will.
So,
It's
yeah.
a good community. Very good community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So we got about 5 more minutes. So anything else you want to throw out there that you
I have
forgot to mention?
one of my favorite scriptures that I wanted
Oh,
to
yeah, that's right.
read.
Yep.
It's very short, but it's one of my faves. And it's just the truth of what God is. But it's Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. And, I never had that mindset. I never thought that I could do strong things. So you can do strong things.
Oh, yeah,
Because God is
absolutely.
behind you, and he is going to give you what you want if you tell
Yeah.
him and pray about it.
I believe that. It's almost like, what I always picture? Like God's sitting there looking at you like, come on, go. Don't be afraid.
Right. Yeah.
I'm right here. I got you back.
I was told, have you heard of Joyce Myers?
Yes.
I think she's the one that I heard her say, God may not always be on time, but he's never late.
Exactly.
Never late.
Exactly. That's very, very true.
I'm like, wow.
Well, we hate to cut it short tonight. Maybe the next one will have a longer episode.
That's fine.
So I'm actually thinking about when I have time to do Sunday episodes.
Okay.
And I was going to ask Starlito to join me with those. Because Starlito's actually a pastor.
Oh.
So
okay.
he's really good with stuff like that. And
Is
doing
it
his-
Carlito?
Huh?
What church is he
It's
from?
not a church. He's
Oh.
more of almost like a mobile.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So he can go, at our old studio, he would have people come in and tell their stories, and he would talk to them about things. And
Oh, nice.
so that's the type of work that he does is, but he can help with stuff like that as well. But we, as Black River Studios, we like to help people whenever we can.
That's
We
good.
got Alpha One Music too. He's a DJ. And then we got another company called Trouble Sons, which they do music. They find ways too to throw events and things like that. So we all try to help each other out where we can help the community out. So that's a
really
big thing that we do as well. So I want to also thank, what is it? I'll be there next time Sunday I'm in.
good.
So if anybody wants to do, hey Michelle, how you doing? If anybody wants to do because that's actually a good idea what you said about the Bible study.
Yeah.
Because I remember growing up and people was doing that. And
Me too.
I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
have you ever had anybody doing stuff like that?
Bible studies?
Yeah.
More than anything, I wanted it to be a safe place for women to come and just be able to talk about things that they're going through that
Exactly.
they can't share with their family, or they
Right.
can't share. And it's just like a women empowering group.
Yeah,
It
that's
just
cool.
Really
I
helps
would
us.
love to go
Mhm.
to that.
Oh, you're more than welcome. It's
Yeah.
Thursday nights. Yeah.
Yeah, we can discuss that after.
Thursday
Okay.
nights at what time?
So I want to thank Tanya for being on tonight. And also, I want to thank Rob Johnson again for putting this together because
Exactly.
Rob's
Thanks,
the one
Rob.
that. Yeah. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah.
Um,
He's awesome.
And so again, we're proud of you.
Thank
you know,
you.
we got your back. If you ever want to talk separately, we can
Oh, wow.
gather and you can come over here, hang out if you ever want to.
Well,
and,
thank you for the opportunity to
Yeah.
let me share my story and my testimony, hoping that it will help somebody.
oh
And I
yeah,
know that it will, because God didn't do this for no reason.
Exactly.
He has a
Exactly.
plan for everything.
Exactly.
So this is why we
God
did this,
always.
right? Exactly.
No problem, Starlito. Anytime. So again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Stay tuned at 8 o'clock. We do have another podcast at 8 o'clock. But again, Tanya, we want to thank you.
You're welcome.
We want to thank you for sharing your story. Because not a lot of people can do this. There's not a lot of people out there that want to say or admit that, certain things. And that's what God does for people, is to say, you know what? I want you to tell somebody what you've been through, because then that can open their mind up and be like, you know what? I could do the same thing. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
So,
My pleasure.
yes. So everybody, we want to thank you for tuning in. Everybody, we got Tracy, aka Babe.
Right?
But we got her on tonight. So again, thank you. We hope everybody has a good night. Drive safe out there. I heard the weather is supposed to get colder, so it might freeze up tonight. I think it was tonight or
Rain
tomorrow.
going on out there
If
right
so,
now.
there might not be school tomorrow.
What's that?
I don't know. No, there'll be school tomorrow.
This is Holland. There'll be school
Yeah,
tomorrow.
there'll be school tomorrow.
But again, we want to thank everybody. You guys all have a good night. Everybody drive safe, and we will see you at 8 o'clock. Don't forget we got Johnny O tonight. We got Steve, a.k.a. Kingpin. We got DJ Sanook, a.k.a. Sam. So stay tuned, and we'll see you at 8 o'clock. Peace.
Good night.
And that's it for tonight's episode. Hope you enjoyed. The Ben Herrera and Starlito Show. A Black River Studios podcast. Thanks for watching.
I've been doing this
For real.
6 years now. So,
Yeah, well, that's cool. So now it will be on live on your page?